everyone, Megan and Steve with Hustling for Excellence. Welcome to our channel. Make sure that you like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified when we post more great content. Today is all about how billionaires think. I was just watching a video by Evan Carmichael, awesome guy that we follow on YouTube, and actually have had the pleasure of speaking with ourselves. And he talked about we talked with 7 different billionaires and what their takeaways are and how they think and have created wealth. And the one that really stood out the most to me was that they think long term. You know, the short term really doesn't provide a lot of their gains. It's the long-term thinking and the long-term goals, which is where their wealth is generated. Nowadays, I think, especially in our world with all, the media right at our hands, we're always looking for that short-term gratification and aren't willing to wait for what results we get in the long term. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of us fall short. And that's why billionaires think that way.
Yeah, it's interesting because, again, everybody thinks about, say, long term. I can talk to 10 people and get 10 different answers. Mm-hmm. If you talk to the financial industry, they're talking about the 5 to 7 years, and that's long term. But then you talk to a trader who's trading all day. 30 seconds could be long term.
So you talk to my 5-year-old, and long term is, oh my God, 20 minutes.
Right. So I think it's key. And then around the world, right? You always hear about China, and they have a 100-year plan. I kind of think about they're planning for that long term. Where in our country we probably plan more on a 4-year cycle, right? Like on an election cycle.
Exactly.
So it's interesting to hear these billionaires speak and talk about that, having that long term vision, because yeah, I see it, and doesn't matter if it's at work. People want to have results, so you have to have results now. And it's like, okay, but you also have to sit down. Yes, short term planning is part of what you do. We get that, but also that long term plan. Be able to sit down and what do you want your company to be in 20, 30, 40 years? Do you want to leave a legacy? We were just talking earlier also about just small businesses, mom and pops. That it's cool when you go by and you see, hey,
third generation,
fourth generation. Somebody emigrated into this country, in 18 whatever, and they started a bakery, and it's still going 100 plus years later. You don't see a lot of that anymore. I find it, it's refreshing to hear people talk long term. So again, it's interesting because they're all billionaires, right? So maybe there should be a key, right? A little light bulb goes off in your head, hey, maybe I should think long term, So.
Beyond, thinking about, the next 3 months, 6 months, what is it that because we can all just set goals and decide, okay, I'm going to complete this task and I'm going to do it in 3 months, or I'm going to do it in a year. But set yourself a goal big enough that it's going to take you 5 years, 10 years to potentially achieve that. That's how they all think. That's why they run their companies the way that they do. They're not worried about what they can complete in the short term in just a few months, weeks, or even a year or two, because they know that the big goals, the ones that are really generational and provide legacy, are the ones that take many years to accomplish, because the goal is that large that it's going to take a while, and it's going to take a large team of people to really accomplish it as well.
Yeah.
But those are the ones that are really worth working for.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking earlier about one of the people that Evan had, I don't know if he interviewed or it was a clip on the YouTube, but it was Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. And, talking about why he decided not to take the company public. And it was interesting because he's talking about, he has more control and he doesn't have to worry about the short-term results that, public companies do, whether, reporting good numbers to Wall Street every quarter, every year. Because
as we've all seen, the stock market is finicky. If your quarterly numbers aren't going up, your investors get upset.
Right.
And so they're focused on, okay, how do we turn a quick profit? Whereas with Elon, with the private company, he doesn't have to worry about that. He can focus those long-term
goals. Right,
especially,
his goal of going to Mars, right? So, if things are going to go wrong along the way, and, that may scare some people, scare some investors, so they're likely to get out. So then, he may have a few bad quarters or a down year or whatever it is.
The space shuttle blows up.
Right, exactly. So, and again, we all know the whole Wall Street game. It's they hit earnings by came in right on 58 cents a quarter this quarter, or they missed it by a penny, or this time it's all BS. It's all accounting behind the scenes. It's not hard to do, you just move things around. So, yeah, that's why I like when people stay private. Allows them to kind of really control things a little bit more and just kind of reach for those big goals, I think, So it was very interesting. I definitely recommend it. We'll put a link in the description to that Evan Carmichael YouTube episode. And it was just, I'm still thinking about it now. I mean, just so many good things are said. We have a whole bunch of notes written down. So, great. Think long term. Play for the long game. I mean, so many people are just, especially now, I think a lot of the stuff you see on crypto, we'll say, because we know that's hot right now, so everybody's into it. But people forgot about all the other things that are out there, investment platforms, right? That have been around way longer than crypto. I mean, yes, crypto is great, but you have artwork. You have other collectibles that people have been around for years, gold and silver. It's just, but people just don't think long term. Like, hey, I just made this huge gain in crypto. That is great. I'm happy for you. But again, just, it's unproven right now. So think long term.
So, all right, guys, well, leave us comments. Let us know about what your long-term goals are and how you're going to achieve them. Keep hustling for your excellence, and we will see you in the next video.